works. Gambling addiction, it's growing, mainly because it's so easy to place a bet in Michigan. You just pick up your phone, right? And since our state legalized online casino and sports betting in 2021, calls to the gambling helplines are spiking. The apps, the ads, contributing to a devastating addiction.
Right now, we can feel the excitement of March Madness, but every moment of every day, you can find something to bet on. During this season, casinos and sports betting sites are sure to be flooded with fans placing bets on their favorite teams. And while gambling may seem like harmless fun to some, it can quickly become addicting.
There are neurotransmitters, neurochemicals in the brain that we know, again, both from human studies and animal studies, that can be released in very influential amounts when certain conditions are met. Humans and other primates are wired to like chance and to be attracted by it.
Dr. David Stream is an addiction psychiatrist for Cleveland Clinic. He says casinos and sports betting sites use all kinds of psychological tactics to lure you in and keep you spending money. And even though anyone can develop a gambling addiction, there are certain groups who may be more at risk. Dr. Stream says they include people who've experienced childhood abuse or neglect, witnessed something traumatic, have impulsive tendencies, or find they have extreme emotions when they win or lose a bet. Young adults may also be vulnerable, especially now that online sports betting has grown so much.
I think exposure to kids when the brain is still developing, and remember, the brain keeps developing through our teenage years, all the way through until we're about 26 years old. So as you're exposing kids to these sorts of conditioning signals at these ages of brain development, is that going to affect how their brains develop? Absolutely.
Now, there is an effort to control some of the problem gambling. The Responsible Online Gaming Association, ROGA, is working on education, so making sure people understand this problem is real and it's growing. Responsible advertising and marketing. So we'll see where this lands. But in Michigan, the gambling helpline is 800-270-7117, 800-270-7117. Nationally, the number is 1-800-GAMBLER. So they're noticing, not just in Michigan, but all over the country, that this problem is growing. It used to be sort of a hidden addiction. It probably still is in many cases, but it's a problem that's predicted to only get worse.
It's a horrible addiction. More gambling addicts die by suicide than alcohol and drug addicts combined. It is something that is not talked about a lot. It's a relatively, I think, new addiction that is socially now acceptable to talk about. People just never really considered gambling addiction as a disease, as it is like alcohol or drugs. Just some numbers that I find, without saying specific sites because they're all growing. So one site's projection was $5.8 billion in 2024, projected to go up to $8 billion in revenue this year alone. That's more than a 50% increase. One is going to go from $500 million to $1.5 billion. That is 3 times. It is so easy now, and the thing about it is there is no education to combat what you see. My 8-year-old is playing a game on these apps. It's like Countmaster, Dig This, Subway Surf. The ads are DraftKings. The ads are FanDuel. For the 8-year-old that's playing a game on the phone, the ads are completely uncontrolled. Yeah. And there is no education the other way to show how devastating a disease this potentially is. And, you know, you don't see cigarettes being advertised anymore. I don't believe you can actually physically drink a beer in an alcohol ad. So maybe one day we'll get to the point where the ads are controlled a little bit, but they only show the winning. They don't show the losing
It
losing
looks
your
real
family,
fun.
losing your job,
Yeah.
losing your home. They don't show that part.
It is a real concern, and it's something to talk to your college-age kids about, even your high school-age kids.
Just saw a story online of a 15-year-old who took his parents' and his grandparents' cards and lost $900,000 on these sites.
Yeah.
There was no age verification.
There's just not a lot of guardrails in place, so be careful. And as the problem grows, we'll continue to talk about it, draw attention to it.